We need shelter, please. The biker woman's voice didn't shake, but her eyes did. Rain poured down the empty highway as 20 women bikers stood behind her, soaked leather jackets, mud-covered boots, engines still ticking hot. Across from them stood a broken man, holding a crying toddler in one arm and foreclosure papers in the other. He was a former Marine, a single father, and this night he had nothing left. What happened next shocked the biker world forever. Before we continue, Backhand Index Pointing Right, subscribe to our channel Bikershype, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends who love real biker stories. And if you love Hell's Angel-style biker loyalty, share this video right now and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. Fire the Marine who lost immediately. The house was quiet. Too quiet. James Carter sat on the bare wooden floor of what used to be his living room. No couch, no TV, no pictures on the wall. He'd sold everything piece by piece. The only thing left was his 2-year-old daughter, Lily, asleep against his chest. James had survived Fallujah, IEDs, gunfire, friends dying in his arms. But this silence, this broke him more than war ever did. The envelope lay open beside him, that final notice. Eviction at dawn. James laughed quietly, the kind of laugh that comes right before a man collapses. I tried, Lily, he whispered. I really tried. After the Marines, jobs came and went. Medical bills piled up. His wife passed during childbirth complications. The system that once praised him forgot him. Tonight was his last night under a roof with the women who rode into the SRN 30 miles away. Engines roared through the rain. Leading the pack was Raven, CEO of an all-women biker organization feared and respected across multiple states. She rode a matte black Harley, posture calm, eyes sharp. Behind her, 20 women, all different backgrounds, former cops, veterans, survivors, mothers, widows. They weren't riding for fun. They were riding because one of their sisters had called. Emergency shelter, the voice had said. No questions. Storm night. Raven never ignored those calls. We need shelter. Please, the knock came at 11:47 p.m. James opened the door expecting police or nothing at all. Instead, headlights lit the rain, leather jackets, engines idling, 20 women standing silent. The leader stepped forward. We need shelter, she said calmly. Please. James looked down at Lily, then back at the women. I don't have much, he said honestly. No food. Power's getting cut. Raven met his eyes. We don't need comfort, she replied. Just a roof. James stepped aside without hesitation. That decision changed his life forever. The truth comes outside. The women noticed everything. The emptiness. The cold. The eviction papers. Point one of them knelt to Lily's level. She hasn't eaten much, has she? The woman whispered. James swallowed hard. Raven finally asked a question. You military? Former Marine, James replied. Bankrupt. Single dad. The room went silent. Raven slowly removed her helmet. Ladies, she said firmly, helmets down. Every single woman obeyed. Because you never abandon a Marine, that the CEO biker makes A. Raven stepped outside into rain and made one phone call. Her voice was cold, controlled. I need favors called in, she said. All of them. Within hours, everything began moving. Banks, lawyers, veterans' funds, contractors, people who owed Raven favors, remembered why that morning at sunrise, James expected deputies. Instead, trucks arrived, food, beds, generators. Then a man in a suit stepped forward. Mr. Carter, he said politely, your eviction has been canceled permanently. James collapsed to his knees. Raven helped him up. This isn't charity, she said. This is respect. Why they really seen James finally asked the question. Why me? Raven looked at Lily, then back at him. Because bikers don't just ride, she said. We protect. She paused. And because a world that forgets its Marines deserves to be reminded. If this story touched your heart, Backhand Index Pointing Right, subscribe to Bikershype, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends. And if you love Hell's Angel-style brotherhood and loyalty, share this video now and help us complete our 1,000 subscribers target. Fire now, prove your love. Fire. A quiet house. A loud elder where the generators hummed softly through the morning. For the first time in months, the little house felt alive again. James stood in the doorway holding Lily, watching as women he met only hours earlier move with purpose, setting up beds, stacking food, fixing a broken window like they'd been there 1,000 times before, and oh pity. No questions. Just action. Raven stood near the porch, arms crossed, scanning the road. She wasn't watching for danger. She was watching for reaction. Because favors called in at that level? They don't stay quiet. The calls started coming. James's phone buzzed at 8:12 a.m. Unknown number. Mr. Carter? A nervous voice asked. This is Veterans Housing Services. We've been alerted to your situation. Alerted. James glanced at Raven. She didn't move. Didn't smile. She already knew it'd be wide noon. For more calls followed a contractor offering free repairs. A grocery chain delivering monthly supplies. A law firm apologizing for oversight. James finally broke. Who are you? He asked Raven quietly. She looked at him for a long moment. Someone who doesn't forget. She said the name that makes men beside. 2 unfamiliar bikes rolled up, heavy, expensive, quiet. The riders didn't dismount right away. They waited. Raven stepped forward alone, point when the men finally spoke. Didn't think you still handle things personally, Raven. She didn't flinch. When kids are involved, she replied. I do. The man nodded slowly. Wordlessly, both riders removed their helmets. That's when James noticed it. Not patches. Not logos. Respect. Men who looked like they commanded rooms, standing still like soldiers, receiving orders. Point when them spoke again. Whole city's buzzing, he said. People are asking questions. Raven leaned closer. Let them, she whispered. They should. James learned until later that afternoon. James sat across from one of the women bikers. Maya, a former Army medic. She spoke gently. You really don't know who she is, do you? James shook his head. Maya exhaled. Raven isn't just a biker. She's a CO. Owns logistics companies, security firms, veteran housing projects. Half the people who run this county answer her calls. James stared. Why ride then? Maya smiled. Because power means nothing if you forget where you came from. James felt something tighten in his chest. All his life, power had ignored him. Until now, the reporter who came Tuesday 4:37 p.m. A sedan parked across the street. Camera lens. Notebook. Curiosity to reporter. Raven saw her immediately. Instead of hiding, Raven walked straight toward the car. The reporter froze. You're early, Raven said calmly. The woman swallowed. People say you intervened in a foreclosure involving a Marine. Raven nodded. Yes. Why? Raven leaned down so the camera caught every word. Because when society fails at protectors, she said, we don't debate, we correct. The reporter didn't ask another question. She didn't need to the night that changed James out that evening. As the sun dropped, the women prepared to leave. Engines warmed. Helmets on. James stood holding Lily, unsure how to speak. You saved us, he finally said. Raven knelt in front of Lily. This world can be hard, she said softly. But you're never alone. She stood and faced James. Get back on your feet, she continued. When you're ready, we'll help you find purpose again. James's voice cracked. I don't know how to repay you. Raven shook her head. You already did, she replied. You opened the door. Engines into the DSK-20 bikes rolled out together, NO revving. No show. Just unity. As the sound faded, James realized something powerful. For the first time since leaving the Marines, he felt protected again. Backhand Index Boarding Right. Subscribe to our channel Bikershype, Backhand Index Boarding Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Boarding Right. Share it with your friends who believe in loyalty and respect. And if you love Hell Angels, style, brotherhood, and biker justice, fire, share this video. Now fire. Help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No, prove your love. The article that shook the CITY at exactly 6:01 a.m. Phones across the county buzzed. Not with gossip. Not with celebrity nonsense. But with a headline that hit like a punch to the chest. Bankrupt Marine single dad saved by a shadow network of women bikers. Who is Raven? James read it 3 times. His hands shook. The article didn't name locations. Didn't expose faces. but it told the truth that a Marine forgotten, a child nearly homeless, and a group of women who stepped in when the system walked away at BY 7:30 a.m. The article was everywhere at BY 8 a.m. The wrong people noticed. Backend index pointing right. Subscribe to Bikershype. Backend index pointing right. Like this video. Backend index pointing right. Share it with your friends who respect biker loyalty. If you love Hell Angels, style brotherhood. Fire share this video now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target now. Prove your love. The men who lost in a glass office tower downtown. 3 men stare at the article in silence. Bank executives. Real estate sharks. Men who profited off evictions. Point one of them slammed his fist on the table. She cost us millions, he hissed. And now she's a hero? Another man leaned back. Heroes get investigated. He said calmly. The third smiled. Especially bikers. They made calls. Not the police. T.O. Private Muscle. James feels the SFT to James. Sense it before it happened. Cars slowing too much near the house. Strangers watching from across the street. Lily clung tighter to him. That night, James didn't sleep. 8:30 a.m. His phone buzzed. Raven. Do not panic. Stay inside. Lights on. Seconds later, the rumble came to women return. This time our engines thundered down the street like controlled lightning. Not 20 bikes. .30. Women rolled in wearing heavier gear. Faces calm. Eyes sharp. They parked in formation. Raven stepped off her bike and walked straight to James. They moved faster than I expected. She said quietly, "Who?" James asked. Raven looked toward the darkness beyond the streetlights. Men who don't like losing control. The warning that saved Levis, a black SUV, stopped at the corner point. 2 men stepped out. Big, confident, armed, but hidden. Raven didn't flinch. She walked forward alone. The women stayed perfectly still. Point when the men smirked. You cause a lot of noise, he said. Some people want to quiet again. Raven's voice was calm, dead calm. You're standing in front of a Marine and a child, she replied. And behind me are women who don't miss. The man laughed. Then Raven said 6 words that changed everything. You've already been identified. The smile vanished. Phones rang. Earpieces buzzed. One man stepped back. This isn't worth it, he muttered. They retreated. The SUV disappeared into the night. The James brakes doing. James sank onto the porch steps. I didn't want trouble, he whispered. Raven knelt beside him. Trouble came to you first, she said. We just answered. She looked at Lily. No one touches children, Raven continued. Not on our watch. James finally cried. Not weak tears. Relief tears before leaving. Raven placed a hand on James's shoulder. This story isn't over, she said. They exposed themselves tonight. James looked up. What happens now? Raven's eyes hardened. Now, she replied, we make sure this never happens to another Marine. The engines roared again, but this time they didn't sound offensive. They sounded like war drums. If this part gave you chills, Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to Bikershype. Backhand index pointing right. Like this video. Backhand index pointing right. Share it with your friends. If you love Hell Angels, style, loyalty, justice, and biker protection, fire share this video right now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No, prove your love. The morning after the WNA to the city woke up uneasy. And no sirens. No headlines screaming violence. But everyone felt it. The article from the day before had already crossed state lines. Veteran groups were sharing it. Biker pages reposted it with single caption. This is why we ride. James stood at the window with Lily in his arms, watching 2 women bikers posted quietly at opposite ends of the street, not guarding like soldiers, standing like family. His phone buzzed again to Raven. Today we go public. Stay calm. James exhaled slowly. Public meant attention. Attention meant consequences. Before this story explodes, Backhand index pointing right. Subscribe to Bikershype. Backhand index pointing right. Like this video. Backhand index pointing right. Share it with your friends who respect loyalty and brotherhood. If you love Hell Angels, style, biker justice. Fire share this video now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target now. Prove your love. The press conference nobody expected at noon. A simple announcement hit social media. Press statement. Veterans and housing. No flashy branding. No threats. Just a location. When reporters arrived, they expected politicians. Instead, they found motorcycles. dozens of them, women lined up in clean formation, helmets under arms, faces uncovered, calm, unafraid. Then Raven walked to the podium in a leather jacket this time, black blazer, white shirt, CEO posture. The contrast shook people. She looked straight into the cameras. "My name is Raven," she began. "I'm a business owner, a biker, and a protector of people the system forgets." Silence. She continued. "A Marine and his child were about to be homeless. That failure does not belong to him. It belongs to institutions that profit without responsibility." Cameras zoomed in. "And let me be clear," Raven added calmly, "any intimidation attempts against veterans or children will be documented and exposed." She paused. "This is not a threat," she said. "It's accountability." The backlash comes fast within hours. Two narratives exploded. One side, call her hero. The other called her dangerous. Anonymous sources whispered words like investigation and oversight. James watched the news in disbelief. "They're turning on you," he said over the phone that Raven's voice was steady. "They always do when control slips." "What if they come harder?" James asked. Raven replied without hesitation. "Then they'll learn something important." The biker world argued that night. Something historic happened. Clubs that never spoke to each other did. Messages crossed state borders, not alliances, not wars. Support point one message read, "You stand for kids and vets, we stand with you." Another, "No patches needed. Respect given." Raven read every message quietly. Then she sent one response back to all of them. "Protect the vulnerable. That's all." James gets an OFIR 3 days later. Raven returned alone that NO convoy. No show. She sat across from James at the kitchen table. "I'm opening a new veterans logistics division," she said. "I need leadership I can trust." James blinked. "I haven't managed anything in years." Raven smiled slightly. "You managed to survive war, loss, and collapse and still open your door to strangers." She slid a folder toward him. "Job offer, training included, housing secured." James stared at the paper. "This changes everything," he whispered. Raven nodded. "That's the point." The line that couldn't be said that same night. An attempt was made. Not on James, on Raven. The deal offered quietly through intermediaries. Money. Silence. Walking away. Raven listened. Then replied with one sentence. "I don't sell out children or Marines." The deal vanished. SO to the men behind it. The city argument with weeks passed. Evictions quietly reversed. Veteran funds suddenly found. Policies rewritten without announcements. James stood in his now-furnished living room watching Lily plate. He understood something now. This wasn't charity. This was power with a code. And Raven, she wasn't just a biker. She was a line. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Subscribe to Bikershype Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends who believe in loyalty, justice, and protection. If you love Hell Angels, style, biker honor. Fire share this video right now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No prove your love. The week the movement started didn't happen loudly. There were no marches, no chants, no threats. That IT happened quietly, the most dangerous way possible. Across the country, veterans began posting the same phrase under old photos, discharge papers, and eviction notices. "I was almost forgotten." Then one more line, "Until bikers showed up." James watched it unfold from his phone. Lily asleep on his chest. Cities he'd never been to. Faces he'd never met. Stories painfully familiar. Raven hadn't asked for this, but came anyway. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Subscribe to Bikershype Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends who respect biker loyalty. If you love Hell Angels, style brotherhood. Fire share this video now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target now. Prove your love. The man who didn't care about the backlash changed shape. And no longer businessmen. No longer banks. This time, it was political that a man named Harlan Cross watched the movement from a private office miles away. Former official. Policy architect. A man who had quietly signed off on thousands of veteran housing denials. He didn't lose money when Raven stepped in. He lost control. And unlike others, Harlan didn't negotiate. He investigated. The file that should have stayed be James received an encrypted message late one night that unknown. Ask Raven about Project Shelter Line. He forwarded it immediately. Raven called within seconds. Her voice was calm, but colder than James had ever heard it. They finally pulled that card, she said. What is it? James asked. Raven paused. A policy designed to quietly disqualify high-risk veterans from housing, she replied. Single parents, PTSD cases, medical debt. James's stomach turned. That's me. Yes, Raven said. And thousands more. The threat becomes parallel 2 days later. Raven's corporate accounts were audited simultaneously. Not random, not legal, targeted. Then came the message, handwritten, slipped under the door of one of her offices. Stay in your lane. Raven read it once. Then burned it. She didn't call lawyers. She called people at the women gathered, and this time it wasn't 20. IT was 57. Different states. Different clubs. Same purpose. They met in a warehouse with no signs, no banners. Raven stood in the center. They think this is about money, she said. It isn't. She looked around the room. They think intimidation works on us. Silence, then one woman spoke. They crossed the kid line. Another nodded. So what's the move? Raven answered quietly. We expose the architect. James makes it end that night. James couldn't sleep. He stared at Lily. Breathing softly, he thought of every Marine he'd lost, every promise broken. At dawn, he called Raven. I want to help, he said. Raven didn't respond immediately. You be visible, she warned. They'll come for your credibility. James swallowed. They already took everything else. Raven exhaled slowly, then welcomed the front. The document Darrow opened 3 days later. The internet exploded. Not rumors, documents, emails, policy drafts, signatures, all tied to one name, Harlan Cross, the same man who now appeared on television calling Raven a dangerous influence. But the timestamps didn't lie. Neither did the victims. James watched the press conference live as veterans spoke one by one, and no anger, just facts. And facts were lethal at the moment Raven broke her, and Raven didn't smile when asked for comment. She said only this. This was never a war. It was a cleanup. Then she turned and walked away. The FAO Harlan Cross resigned within a week. No charges announced. No apology given, but the policy was frozen. Funding reinstated. And one thing became clear across the country. There was a line you didn't cross anymore. James's knew on his first official day at Raven's company. James wore a simple jacket and no medals. No patches, just purpose. Before leaving, he kissed Lily's forehead. We're going to help people, he whispered. She smiled in her sleep, the truth that made Raven watch from her office window. As bikes rolled out below, she knew this wasn't the end. Movements never end. They evolve, and somewhere out there, another door would be knocked on. Another voice would say, we need shelter, please. And someone would answer. Backhand Index Pointing Right, subscribe to Bikershype, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends. If you love Hell Angels, style, honor, loyalty, and protection, fire share this video right now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No, prove your love. The quiet after Storm Raven's hospital room was silent, except for the steady rhythm of machines. She hated that sound. IT meant waiting. Outside the room, James stood with his back against the wall, arms crossed, eyes fixed on nothing. Every instinct he'd learned in the Marines told him the same thing. The enemy never stops after a failed strike. They regroup. Before the chessboard flips, Backhand Index Pointing Right, subscribe to Bikershype, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share with your friends who respect loyalty. If you love Hell Angels, style, brotherhood. Fire share this video. Now fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No, prove your love. The meeting that wasn't ending at 9 p.m. that night. Phones vibrated across the country. NO group chats. No public posts. Just one symbol sent peer-to-peer. Shield. Everyone who received it understood. IT meant stand by. Not rally. Not retaliate. Prepared the women move without art in a warehouse far from cameras. The women gathered again. NO speeches. NO anger. Maya stepped forward. She's alive, she said. That's all that matters. A woman in the back spoke. But they'll try again. Maya nodded. And they'll fail again. She tapped a tablet, projecting a simple map. Safe houses, shelters, veteran families already flagged as at risk. This is the counter-move, Maya said. We protect everyone at once. No single target and no single leader. The enemy realizes two elderly men behind the attack expected chaos. What they got instead was order. Eviction stalled nationwide. Veteran legal cases flooded courts. Media attention shifted, not to Raven's injury, but to patterns. Journalists started asking the wrong questions. Who hired the muscle? Who benefited from silence? That's when the pressure changed, not from bikers, from light. Now, James steps into Zara. James didn't wear a patch. He didn't need one. He sat at a folding table with a headset, coordinating shelter drops, transport routes, food deliveries. Family of 4 rerouted, confirmed safe. Medical support arriving in 20. Kids accounted for. This wasn't combat, but it felt familiar. Purpose, structure, team. For the first time since leaving the Marines, James felt like he was exactly where he belonged. The message that ended the GME 2 days later. A sealed envelope arrived at Raven's hospital room.no return address. Inside was a single sheet of paper, 0.6 words. We understand. We are done. Raven read it once, then handed it to James. They blinked. She said softly. James looked at her. Does that mean it's over? Raven shook her head. No, she replied. It means they learned. The walk when Raven left the hospital, there were no crowds and no cameras, just bikes, women standing quietly, helmets in hand. Raven didn't make a speech. She mounted her bike, looked at them all, and said one sentence. Back to work. Engine started, not loud, not angry. Steadied the city breeze, and in weeks passed, and no more threats. No more shadows. Families stayed housed. Veterans stayed visible. And somewhere men who once believed fear worked stayed very, very quiet. James stood on his porch one evening watching Lily play with chalk on the concrete. She looked up and smiled, and he smiled back. The world wasn't fixed, but it was held together for now. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Subscribe to Bikershype. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends if you love Hell Angels. Style, loyalty, protection, and respect. Fire share this video right now. Fire. Help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No. Prove your love. The quiet and i.e. the city had learned how to breathe again. Not loudly. Not confidently. But carefully. Raven sat alone in her office after midnight. Lights dim. Jacket hung on the chair behind her. Her side still ached when she moved too fast. A reminder carved into muscle and bone. Pain kept leaders honest. The knock came at 12:43 a.m. Not aggressive. Not afraid. Just small. Before this part breaks hearts. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Subscribe to Bikershype. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends who believe in real loyalty if you love Hell Angels. Style, brotherhood. Fire share this video. Now fire. Help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No. Prove your love. The child at the door, Raven, opened the door slowly. That a boy stood there in no jacket. Shoes 2 sizes too big. Face trying very hard not to cry. Behind him, across the street, an old car idled with its headlights off. My mom said you help people. The boy said. Raven knelt immediately. What's your name? She asked. Ethan, he whispered. She told me to come alone. Raven's jaw tightened. Children never came alone unless adults were afraid. The story Ethan couldn't finish inside. Ethan sat with a mug of hot chocolate between his hands. My dad was a soldier, he said. He didn't come back the same. Raven listened. He got sick. Ethan continued. They said we don't qualify anymore. His voice cracked. They said we have to leave tomorrow. Raven didn't interrupt. She never interrupted children. Mom cried. Ethan finished. So I left before she could stop me. Silence filled the room. Not awkward. Heavy the old Raven walked to the window and looked out at the street. She remembered being younger. Hungry. Invisible. She remembered a biker once saying to her, we don't save the world. We hold the line long enough for kids to grow. She turned back to Ethan. Eat, she said softly. Then we'll fix this. The call that woke Evie and Raven didn't send symbols this time. She made calls. Direct ones, to women who had kids asleep in the next room. To veterans who knew that look in Ethan's eyes. To people who remember why they joined in the first place. Within 30 minutes, Bikes rolled IN.NO formation NO show. Just family.James hears the voice and James answers phone half asleep. James, Raven said. We've got another one. He was already pulling on his jacket. Where, he asked. Same city, she replied. Different story. Same ending if we don't move. James looked at Lily sleeping peacefully. I'm on my way. The mother who expected LT and Ethan's mother sat on the edge of a bare mattress when Raven and the others arrived. She didn't scream, didn't beg. She looked empty. I didn't know where else to send him, she said quietly. Raven placed a hand over hers. You sent him to the right place. The woman finally broke. I'm not asking for miracles, she sobbed. I just want him safe. Raven met her eyes. Then listen carefully, she said. You're not leaving. The line IS redrawn be morning. The eviction was frozen. Medical support scheduled. A veteran's appeal reopened. But Raven did something else too. She sat with Ethan. You did a brave thing, Raven told him. Ethan shook his head. I was scared. Raven smiled gently. So was I, she said. And I rode anyway. Ethan thought about that, then nodded. The meaning of the game that evening. Raven stood outside as Bikes rolled away. James walked beside her. It never ends, does it? He asked. Raven watched the taillights fade. No, she replied. But neither do we. She looked back at the building, AT the light still on, AT the child who slept safely inside. The line isn't about fighting, Raven said. It's about standing where others won't. James understood now. This was empowered at IT was responsibility. Backhand index boing right. Subscribe to Bikershype Backhand index boing right. Like this video, Backhand index boing right. Share it with your friends. If you love Hell Angels, style, honor, loyalty, and protection, fire share this video right now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No, prove your love. The passage of time didn't rush. IT moved away. Engines do it idle. Steady, patient, unstoppable. The city changed. Policies shifted. Names faded from headlines. But the line held. James grew into his role quietly. Not a hero, not a symbol. A man who showed up early, stayed late, and made sure families didn't fall through cracks anymore. Lily grew taller, louder, braver. She learned the sound of motorcycles meant safety before she ever learned fear. Raven never chased legacy. Legacy chased her. Before this chapter hits deep, Backhand index boing right. Subscribe to Bikershype Backhand index boing right. Like this video, Backhand index boing right. Share it with your friends who believe in loyalty. If you love Hell Angels, style, brotherhood. Fire share this video now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No, prove your love. The envelope arrived on a quiet afternoon. Plain. No logos. No explanation. Raven opened it and read the single line inside. Requesting your presence. Below it, a date, a graduation. She didn't smile. She closed the envelope and said one word. Okay? The unit on the sun was high when Raven parked her bike at the edge of the field. She didn't wear leather that day. Just black slacks. White shirt. Hair tied back. She blended in until she didn't. Rows of young men and women stood at attention. Fresh uniforms. Nervous pride. Families watching from the sidelines. Raven scanned the line slowly. Then she saw him. Ethan, taller now. Shoulders squared. Eyes steady. For a split second, the little boy with oversized shoes flickered through her mind. Then he met her eyes and smiled. James watches from the cell. James stood with Lily beside him. Lily leaned forward. Daddy, she whispered. Why is that boy looking at Raven like that? James swallowed. Because, he said quietly, she stood for him when nobody else did. The sailor names were called. Applause followed. When Ethan's name echoed across the field, Raven didn't clap. She stood, just for a moment, just enough. Ethan noticed his posture straightened. Not because he had to, because he wanted the words Ethan to hit the ceremony. Ethan walked straight toward Raven. Not rushed, not emotional. Controlled, he stopped in front of her, stood at attention, then relaxed. I remember what you said, he told her. Raven raised an eyebrow. What did I say? That courage isn't about being unafraid, Ethan replied. It's about riding anyway. Raven looked at him for a long second, then nodded. Looks like you did. The question that Ethan hesitated. Can I ask you something? Of course. Why did you help us? He asked. You didn't know me. Raven looked out over the field. I knew exactly who you were, she said. You were someone who needed the line held. Ethan nodded slowly. I want to do that too. Raven met his eyes. Then remember this, she said. You don't need permission to protect people, just responsibility. The circle stood later that evening. Bikes rolled past the same streets where years earlier a small boy had knocked on a door. This time, Ethan stood watching from the sidewalk. Not afraid, not desperate, just aware. James walked up beside Raven. He made it, James said. Raven replied softly. He already had. The line continued as night settled in. Raven mounted her bike. Ethan raised a hand in a small wave. She returned it. Not as a leader, as someone who understood. The engine started. The sound rolled through the city, not loud, not threatening. Steady, holding the line. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Subscribe to Bikershype Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends. If you love Hell Angels, style, honor, loyalty, and protection. Fire share this video right now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target and prove your love. Years later, the world doesn't warn you. The world never announces its tests. They arrive quietly, ordinary, disguised as routine. Lily Carter learned that on a rainy Tuesday evening. She was 19 now. College backpack slung over one shoulder. Phone pressed her ear as she walked toward the bus stop near campus. The city had changed, new buildings, new policies, new promises, but Shadow still knew where to wait. Her father's words echoed in her head, the ones he repeated since she could walk. If something feels wrong, trust it. Tonight felt wrong at the moment that felt too familiar. A woman stood under the broken streetlight. Early 30s. 2 kids beside her. Suitcases stacked like a wall. Lily slowed. The woman caught her eye and spoke, voice low and embarrassed. Excuse me, do you know where we could sleep tonight? The words hit Lily like a punch. Not because they were new, because they were old. We need shelter, please. The same sentence that had once saved her own life. Before this last chapter unfolds, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Subscribe to Bikershype Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends who believe in loyalty and real protection. If you love Hell Angels, style, honor. Fire share this video. Now Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target. No, prove your love. Lily didn't ask for details. Didn't check her phone. Didn't think about how late it was. She knelt at kids level. Are you hungry? She asked. They nodded. That was enough? Come with me, Lily said. I know people. The call that closed aside, Lily stepped away and dialed one numbered. IT rang once Raven's voice answered. Talk to me. Lily swallowed. It's happening again, she said quietly. A family. Right now. There was no pause. Stay where you are, Raven replied. I'm already moving. James feels it before the phone. James was locking up the office. When his phone buzzed at Raven, he answered instantly. It's Lily, Raven said. She's standing at the line. James closed his eyes, not in fear, not in understanding. I'm on my way, he said. The engines returned. One last thing, the rain hadn't stopped. I'd never dozen stories like this, but engines cut through it. Not dozens, not a show. Just enough. Raven arrived first. Older now. Slower when she walked. Stronger when she stood. She looked at Lily. Not as a child, as an equal. You did good, Raven said. Lily nodded. I just remember what you taught us. Raven smiled softly at the family that expected, and the mother shook as Raven spoke. I don't want trouble, the woman said. I just need one night. Raven shook her head gently. This isn't trouble, she replied. This is shelter. Within an hour, food arrived. Beds were ready. Paperwork paused. The line held. Again, the father and James stood beside Lily as the kids were taken inside. He looked at her for a long moment. You didn't freeze, he said. Lily smiled faintly. I was scared, she admitted. James nodded. So was I, he replied. And I still opened the door. The last hour later that night, Raven mounted her bike. Lily stood beside her, rain soaking her hair, eyes steady. What happens now? Lily asked. Raven looked down the street where the lights faded into darkness. Now, she said, you live your life? She paused. And when the knock comes again, you'll know what to do. Raven started the engine. The sound was loud. IT didn't need to be. IT was another the truth that the world never fixes itself. IT never does. But because of one Marine who opened a door, one biker who held a line, and one girl who remembered, some people slept safely. And somewhere tonight, a frightened voice said, "We need shelter, please." And someone answered. Backhand Index Pointing Right. Subscribe to Bikershype Backhand Index Pointing Right. Like this video, Backhand Index Pointing Right. Share it with your friends. If you love Hell Angels, style, loyalty, honor, and protection, fire share this video right now. Fire help us complete the 1,000 subscribers target and prove your love.